This phenomenon has nothing to do with Mamdani, but had begun long before he became a household name. This is all so dumb. It's based on nothing, Miller said of the so-called Mamdani effect. This is, quote, not in the data. There's no uptick. It's all just very odd. Even if more people considered moving out of New York City, the reality is that it takes, quote, a lot for people to move in general. They have jobs, they have kids in school, they have families in the area, they have friends. And you can't just decide to pick up and move on the prospect that the mayor is going to deteriorate the city. So people have been buying and they will continue to buy in New York City. We will just have to wait and see how Mamdani governs New York. Hello and welcome. This week, I want to take a look at active New York real estate because last week we took a look at has the Mamdani effect taken place, which was essentially in 2025 when Zohran Mamdani was running for New York City mayor. There were a lot of news media or even just people who threatened that there would be this mass exodus of New York City residents if Mamdani were to be elected. So far, I'm recording this as of March 2026, we have not seen that pan out in the data, which we went through in last week's video. But we've also seen the opposite, which is the new Mamdani effect, where more people are even moving into New York City since his election, which is interesting. And we're seeing more luxury rentals go up. We'll talk about that a little bit more and go into a Newsweek article that I found about this. I won't do too much preamble here today. I think we'll just kind of get into it and take a look at the Newsweek article that I found along with some of the rental listings that are pretty fascinating. So if you're kind of someone like me that's like, what do things cost in different cities? What do you get for your money in certain places? Well, this one's for you. So we're going to just see what does $10,000 a month get you in a place like New York City. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I found this article that was published December 12th, 2025 by Newsweek, titled The Mamdani Effect is Seeing More People Moving to New York, Not Leaving It. Also find it kind of interesting. Newsweek seems to be like the only media outlet really reporting on the outcomes of all of these threats from other news media that like everyone would leave. We'd see this huge mass exodus. As far as I can find from some preliminary searching, like Newsweek is the only one that's like, no, let's hold them accountable for saying that. But it doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot of accountability for people to make completely unbased claims or like unfounded, say just nonsense and then just be allowed to just say that and then no one calls them out on it. So yeah, as far as I can tell, Newsweek is kind of the only one being like, yeah, so they were wrong. Anyway, all right, so the Mamdani effect is seeing more people moving to New York, not leaving it. This was written by a senior housing reporter, Julia Carbonaro. They write, a month after Zohran Mamdani's stunning victory in New York City mayoral election, the mass exodus of wealthy residents that landlords and real estate agents, especially down in Florida, had predicted has so far failed to materialize. Instead, sales of luxury homes in the Big Apple, priced above $4 million, were up by 31% in November compared with October to 151 properties, according to the latest data by real estate brokerage firm Olshan Realty. Ads. One thing about Newsweek is they will feed you ads. This notion that people are going to flee New York because they don't like the mayor is pretty ridiculous. If there were people who were thinking about moving to Florida or to any other state to escape taxes and they're older or retired, maybe this will be a bit of a push. But overall, most people are just going to stay put. I think a lot of the reaction of people was very overblown. They got panicked, but New York is New York. If you look at the city in general, there's been no, quote, Mamdani effect, Corcoran Group broker Noble Black told Fox Business on Monday. Why it matters. In the months leading to the New York City mayoral election and the weeks after Mamdani's victory, enthusiastic Florida realtors and disgruntled New York landlords told everyone, including Newsweek, that 34-year-old Democrats' win would lead to wealthy residents leaving the city en masse and relocating their portfolios to the Sunshine State for fear of higher taxes. This alleged exodus, they said, would have weakened New York City by depriving it of an important tax base while bringing more riches to Florida. Over a month after Mamdani's victory, the hype around the so-called Mamdani effect appears little more than wishful thinking, the data shows. What to know? Black told Newsweek that he recalled 2 clients who stopped their search for a property in New York City after Mamdani's nomination, saying their financial advisors told them to wait. I remember thinking then, that's kind of ridiculous, he said. And sure enough, even before the mayoral election, both of those buyers restarted their search. They came back into the market. You know, it was kind of a knee-jerk reaction of people seeing the headlines and being scared, but they came back into the market. Olshan said the Manhattan luxury market has been doing, quote, very well, mostly because of the fact that the stock market has been fairly robust. The surge in sales, she says, has been fueled by Wall Street's strong performance this year. Wall Street had record compensation in 2024, Jonathan Miller, president of Miller Samuel, told Newsweek, adding that luxury home sales are on the rise because compensation is very high. That, he said, is consistent with the idea that we are seeing in our housing data, that the high end is outperforming the overall market. This phenomenon has nothing to do with Mamdani, but had begun long before he became a household name. This is all so dumb. It's based on nothing, Miller said of the so-called Mamdani Effect. I also cover about 14 housing markets for Douglas Elliman in Florida and the on-the-ground feedback from brokers and consumers down there. After the New York City mayoral election was, boy, I hope Mamdani wins because the wealthy are going to flee Manhattan and come to Florida. This is, quote, not in the data. There's no uptick. It's all just very odd, he said. Not only have sales of luxury homes in New York City surged since Mamdani's victory, but rents for Manhattan apartments have also scored to a record high in November, even as the Democrat ran on a promise to make rent more affordable for residents. New leases last month were signed at a median $47.50, up from 13% from a year earlier, and 3.3% from October. In the rental market, too, what's driving up the demand and prices is the luxury market, with the top 10% of Manhattan rentals seeing the greater price gains of all other tiers, according to Douglas Elliman, up 18% to a median of $11,500 in November. And we did see that in some of the rent hop data that I took a look at last week, and I'll pull that up in a little bit, of like what we saw of the rent like change year over year. The Mamdani effect may have not taken place as many realtors were hoping for, but that does not mean that Florida has not seen renewed interest from wealthy New York residents. The influx of New Yorkers to Florida is not a new phenomenon, but one that has been happening for years, as residents move down the east coast of the country seeking sunny and warm weather, a cheaper cost of living, and a lower tax environment. Miami has been an inflow market for all of these states, including California, where people tend to come down here for different quality of life and also to avoid certain taxes. That's nothing new. I think the rhetoric around Mamdani was trying to exploit that to a different degree. A lot might depend on what policies Mamdani will actually implement when he takes office, but Arias says there's a limit to what he can do. He, quote, doesn't have the power to increase taxes, Arias said. There's a few layers above him that actually control that, and in reality, the one sliver that he does control, which is the rent control piece of the equation, that piece of the New York rental market has not been impacted historically. It's not expected to see tremendous rent growth, he said. While Black has long been saying that some of Mamdani's policies may be, quote, problematic, he said that the mayor-elect is a, quote, long way from being able to implement them. Number one, I think he's not going to be able to do it, but I think he's also going to probably moderate a lot of what he tries to do, he added. I think he needed to make some really bold statements to get noticed during the primary, and that's what he did. And even if Mamdani enacted all he talked about, quote, it's not going to happen overnight. People don't flee the city simply because the taxes are going to go up 2%. He added. Even if more people considered moving out of New York City, Olshan said, the reality is that it takes, quote, a lot for people to move in general. They have jobs, they have kids in school, they have families in the area, they have friends. And you can't just decide to pick up and move on the prospect that the mayor is going to deteriorate the city, she said. So people have been buying and they will continue to buy in New York City. We will just have to wait and see how Mamdani governs New York. Yeah, fair play. I agree. I also think it's interesting. Where was the point around Florida? Yeah, people flee places like New York, California to move to Florida. Florida is generally a much lower cost of living state, but Florida has a lot more weather perils that you have to deal with as well. So in the long run, you like on the day-to-day, you'll save money, but there's just like a lot more weather related things that you have to deal with. And not to say that New York doesn't, like New York gets hurricanes as well, but Florida gets hit by hurricanes pretty frequently, and like pretty major hurricanes, probably once a year. Just depending on where you are in Florida, it's a chance that your house can get wiped out. And I'm saying this as someone that, like, my first job out of school was in property and casualty insurance analytics. And Florida is, it just made me be like, why do people live there? Florida is not great in terms of just the likelihood of your home being swept up into a flood is crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Will I keep that part in? Well, we'll see. Okay. So yeah, they say the Mamdani effect was supposed to be this mass exodus of people leaving New York. We didn't see that, and that's what we kind of took a look at. I pulled this up last week, the rent hop data, which shows the median rent in a given month and what that looks like year over year. And I guess for some reason they used 3 years ago as another comparison point. But as of March, it said the median price of all available listings as of whenever they pulled this data was $46.50. And that's close to what they referenced in the Newsweek article. I believe that was $47.50 in the Newsweek article that they mentioned. And they said for luxury homes or luxury apartment rentals, it was $11,500. And here it's saying anything that's like a 4+ bedroom is $8,995 is the median rent here, but that doesn't necessarily show you like what luxury housing is. So I am a little curious, or wanted to just dive in here on the New York City rental market. This is as of the end of March 2026 that I'm looking at this. This video, I have to look at the schedule. This might go live in April, but just, yeah, it's currently the end of March as I'm looking at this. So really curious what we're even working with here in this rental market. I don't really have a good reason other than just like my own curiosity of what people live in, or the fact that this is even like a possibility for people. I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit so you can see my screen. Okay, so I've pulled up listings from Street Easy here, and I'm just gonna kind of go through some of these because I think it's interesting. I feel like for luxury housing, a lot of people, for some reason, want to live in Manhattan. I grew up in New York. I would not personally want to ever live in Manhattan. It just feels really claustrophobic, but that's the dream for people. So let's see. A lot of these people work in the financial district on Wall Street, so they might live around FiDi, which is going to be down here. So let's see what you can get in FiDi. There's a lot of places down here. This one is $15,000 a month. It's 4 rooms, 2 beds, 2.5 baths, good $15,000. It looks like they increased the rent by $1,000 as of March 2nd, 2026, available April 1st. No fee apartment, a luxurious 2-bed, 2.5 bath with spectacular views of the Statue of Liberty. Enter through the gallery into the bright and airy living room with a floor-to-ceiling window that will reveal expansive views of the Hudson River and the Statue of Liberty. The open kitchen features a waterfall granite island, walnut cabinetry, first-in-class appliances from Miele and Sub-Zero, such as a dishwasher, side-by-side refrigerator and freezer, a microwave, and a range hood that is vented directly outside. Master and second bedroom have both private and ensuite bathrooms and additional half bath. The luxuriously marbled master bathroom features heated floors, a floating backlit double vanity, electronic Toto toilet with a built-in bidet, and a soaking tub that is enclosed by gas. Okay, up until that point, I was like, why is this $15,000 a month? Then you hit me with that Toto toilet, and you're like, yeah. That toilet alone. How much do those toilets cost? Like, they're pretty expensive, right? Yeah. These toilets are pretty expensive. Yeah. The built-in bidet ones, it can run you several $1,000s. It looks like it has been on the market since February. It was originally listed at $14,000, then the price increased to $15,000. And previously, up until 2019, that's the last time we have the price history on that, is $11,500. So it's gone up about, let's do the quick maths on that. It has increased about 30% since 2019. Yeah, let's take a look at the photos here. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? I feel like I'm doing a meeting at work. I hate that. Okay. Can you see my screen okay? Can everyone see it? Okay, I'm gonna move myself. I've shrunk myself down. So this is what $15,000 a month will get you in the financial district, otherwise known as FiDi, New York City. It is an open floor plan. Okay, those are some pretty nice views. Those windows are pretty crazy, we must admit. Yeah, those floor-to-ceiling windows. One of your bathrooms. Oh yeah, there's a second bedroom in here. Oh, there's a pool in the building. Okay. There's a sauna. You can sauna in this building. That, I think, is adding up to it. It looks like this is I'm assuming a steam room of some sort that exists in this building. Fitness center in the building. Oh, that's why. Here we go. Here's our answer of why this is $15,000 a month. They have a golf simulator in their building. Ugh. I hate luxury buildings that are like, we have a golf simulator. It's like, get out of here. So this is probably driving up The majority of the price of this stupid building because of this golf simulator in FiDi. Oh, look, they have a yoga studio, a spa in this building. What is this building? Rooftop, outdoor patio that's like a shared space. Like, it's nice, but it's not like $15,000. It's kind of crazy. What is this address again? What is this building? 50 West Street. Let's take a look. Modern luxury condos. The art of inspired living. 50 West NYC. Okay, you're gonna make me dizzy, guys. At the convergence of downtown, the historical financial district, Battery Park, and the West Street luxury corridor, one address defines premium living in Lower Manhattan. And it looks like that. I just feel like it would get hot in here. Calm lives in every curve. Yeah, the building is curved. I mean, this is objectively, it's beautiful. It's just like $15,000, you know? It's kind of crazy. I am like, what are the amenities? Yes, here we go. You got this pool situation is pretty nice. The plaza and lobby, the ground plaza sets the tone. It's weird to like live in a building like this. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. Like, I live in a city, but I'm like, buildings like this to like live in feel so bizarre. It looks like an office building, right? And then you're like, yes, I live inside of it. Is like really strange. Apparently there's a water club. The water club has a pool, hot tub, sauna, steam room, I read this as experimental showers. Experiential showers. I actually don't know what either of those mean. I know it doesn't say experimental, but that was already confusing, but I'm also confused by experiential showers. What is an experiential shower? You experience a shower. Professionally supervised programming from water aerobics to children's activities, creating a resort-like rhythm designed for restoration, recreation, and year-round enjoyment. They're really selling you that pool. They're really big on this pool. They're like, that's why we charge so much for you, that apartment you live in. It's because there's a pool you can access. Fitness and wellness club. Private, full-floor fitness center. What's so funny, too, is, like, people that live in a buildings like this, like, paying $15,000 on rent. Like, they absolutely have some luxury gym they're going to, or, like, a personal trainer or something. So it's, like, so funny. They're like, oh, you have all of this private in your building, but it's, like, they probably already pay for some sort of fitness club that has, like, a gym and a basketball court and all of these. Who's using these spaces is what I think I'd be curious to see. I don't think these spaces are getting utilized, but they're charging people in the rent because these spaces exist. But the same people that would rent an apartment this expensive absolutely have like very expensive gym memberships or personal trainers or whatever, you know? So I don't know. It's great that they have these spaces, except for the golf. I think golf's stupid. I'm going to just put that out there. But I guess if someone's going to golf, I'd rather it be a golf simulator than taking up tons and tons of land, especially in a place like New York City. So I guess if you like golf a lot, golf sim isn't the worst. But this is adding probably a good $2,000 to the rent. Oh my God, there's a lounge. Okay. There's a classroom. This building has a arts and crafts room. A library. I assure you most of these places stay empty most of the time. It's great that these exist in this building, I guess. I don't imagine people are using them. This one is cool. So they have this outdoor roof space. So the observatory opens to a sweeping view of Manhattan and New York, a perspective that feels both vast and deeply personal. I hate the writing of this. Okay. Perched more than 700 feet in the air, the observatory opens to sweeping views of Manhattan and New York Harbor, a perspective that feels both vast and deeply personal. With dining areas, lounge seating, binocular viewers, and 2 outdoor grilling stations, it becomes a sanctuary for sunset cocktails, family dinners, or calm moments above the city. Yeah, this is nice. I don't believe anyone's actually utilizing these spaces. There's office condos available for purchase. This collection of private office suites allows residents to own a professional space right at home, secure access, a dedicated office lobby, shared conference room, and a pantry to create a work environment designed for privacy and convenience. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's luxury housing in New York City, and they're like catering to a very particular market, but I'm also like, the people that can afford this are buying other things. Like, I don't know if they're actually utilizing all of these things in these luxury apartments. So it's crazy. Like, just looking at this apartment in and of itself, like, you look at this, you're like, it's nice, but it shouldn't be $15,000 a month. What is that? Sorry, I can't do the math. But $15,000 a month on rent? No fucking way. $15,000 a month on rent is going to be $180,000 annually, which is like way more than most people make, right? So let's say, generally, I think you want your rent to be about like 30% of your income. So this would mean, okay, so these are apartments for people that make about $600,000 a year. You could afford this. If annual or monthly rent is about 30% of your gross income, you would need about $600,000 a year. This is $180,000 a year on your rent. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, actually, given that this is in the financial district, it's actually insane that that is a very normal income level for actually a lot of people that work here on Wall Street. That's not even that much money for them. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, you look at housing prices in New York and you're like, who affords this? And then I do the math and I'm like, yeah, you probably need to make $600K annually. You can afford this. And for New York, that's not even that much money. Like, that's what is mind-boggling about it. Other places, let's see, other really sought after places. We're going to look at the Village. Union Square area is very sought after. So what can you get? There's a place here for $92,000 apparently. What do you think is here? 74 Washington Place, 6 bed, 6 bath. It looks like it's the whole house and it's 9,000 square feet. This home's incredible 9,332 square feet of light-filled living space, offers 6 bedrooms, 6 full baths, and 4 half baths. And it's complemented by walls of glass, Siberian white oak floors, 2 gas fireplaces, millwork by Henry Built, custom marble and tile. State-of-the-art amenities include an elevator, wine cellar, 7-zone HVAC system, and a security system. What is this? Am I too poor to understand what a 7-zone HVAC is? What does that mean? 7-zone HVAC? Okay, I guess it's kind of in the name. A 7-zone HVAC system provides independent temperature control for 7 distinct areas. So I guess the 7-zone might allow you to control a specific room or something that you're in. But okay. And they have a security system. Great. Property history. Wow. It was listed January 2026 for $92,000 for rent. That's the thing that's crazy to me. I'm like, who's renting this? Who is renting it for that much? Let's see what else. Entertain in a dramatic contemporary setting graced by high ceilings and sleek, stylish appointments. The garden level chef's kitchen is designed to the highest standards with premium cabinetry by Henry Built, Danby Marble, and top grade Gaggenau. I'm too poor for this. And Sub-Zero appliances. I don't know what this is. Gaggenau. Gaggenau? Gaggenau. Well, isn't that like German is Gaggenau? And Sub-Zero appliances. A sunny open dining area leads to the zen-like landscape garden via floor-to-ceiling glass sliders with an outdoor kitchen, creating a seamless flow for guests. The living room on the parlor level features a gas fireplace and connects to a separate dining room that accommodates more formal meals. The adjacent butler's pantry with a wet bar is linked by a dumbwaiter to a chef's pantry on the garden level, equipped with an additional sink and dishwasher for easy serving and cleanup. The finished lower level contains a media room, den with skylight, game room, ample storage, and a wine cellar. The master suite, occupying its own floor, is a quiet, elegant retreat highlighted by a gas fireplace and private south-facing balcony overlooking the peaceful garden. The master spa bath is complete with a Victorian Albert volcanic limestone soaking tub, large walk-in steam shower, and fixtures by Waterworks. Completing the allure is a sun-bathed penthouse lounge perched on its 6th floor with large terrace and stunning views. What the hell? All right. Have this listing tell us all that we're poor. So $92,000 a year. Let's say you could rent a place. Let's do the quick maths on this. So $92,000 a year. I've got a calculator in a different tab. $92,000 annually would be $1.1 million a year on just rent. So if we say that you want to make around 30% or spend around 30% on your housing of your income comfortably, you would have to make about $3.68 million annually to afford $92,000 a rent a month. And once again, what's insane is that's actually not unheard of in a place like New York, that someone could make $4 million a year on a regular basis. Like all of these CEOs and even a lot of people that like we don't even know how rich so many people are. There's a lot of generational wealth. Like, yeah, $4 million annually is something people can absolutely swing. So this is affordable to some subsect of our population. There are people wealthy enough to actually afford a $92,000 house a month. So they'd be paying $1 million a year on rent. Here's the house for about $92,000 a month. Here's what that will get you in New York City in the Village. God damn it. Why couldn't I just be born wealthy, you know? I feel like I've seen this house or something, or do all these kinds of houses look the same? I don't know if anyone else watches those YouTube house tours of like, come look at this historic home in New York City or something. Like, I've definitely looked at those before. I don't know if they've talked about the prices of everything, but I feel like all of these sort of like modern homes, stylistically, all kind of look similar. It feels like they are catering the aesthetic to a very particular type of person. This is kind of unique, like the chandelier is interesting, I think, but everything else is like, I don't know, it's kind of cookie cutter-esque. Like it very much appeals to a very particular aesthetic, and we're assuming that this is the aesthetic that the wealthy want, right? It's just interesting to me. Here's another room. Here's your kitchen, which is nice. I'm actually kind of surprised that they don't have one of those things that you just fill your pot up from back here over the stove. That's kind of surprising. For $92,000 a month, you don't got that? You didn't put that in? Come on. Come on. That's amateur. You got to build in that little water filler thing. If people don't know what I'm talking, if you guys have ever seen these things, right? If you're going to build apartments for, or build homes for like the incredibly wealthy, you got to build that. You got to put that in. A pot filler is what it's called. You got to put that in. What are we doing? $92,000 a month? You don't have that? Okay, so yeah, I'm surprised that there isn't this like pot filler here for how expensive this is. Like, you're gonna modernize the kitchen and not put that in. You gotta walk your pot over to the sink to fill it up with water like a poor person. Are you kidding? Jeez. Here's a bathroom, I guess. I can't really figure out what's going on. Like, is this a reflection of something? This is tripping me up. Is this a mirror? Is this whole thing like a weird mirror? It looks like a weird art display. I can't figure it out. I don't like it. Okay, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? Oh, does a TV pop out of it? Is that what that thing is? It's one of those where, for some reason, it's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But a TV pops out of it, I think is probably what that is. For some reason, I hate this. I hate this room. And I understand you can design a room differently once you live there, but what are we doing? I don't even know what this is. I'm too poor to understand this. It seems like a hallway of storage. I can't relate. I don't have any storage space in my 750 square foot apartment, so must be nice. This hallway is probably like the size of my bedroom, and I don't even have that much storage space in it. So, cool. You got this bathroom, but like, what the hell is this? Do you see this? You can see directly outside. They can see into your bathroom. Absolutely. You couldn't stain these windows or something? For $92,000 a month, you couldn't like stain these windows? Are you kidding? You can see directly into this bathroom. What are we doing? Okay. Here's your walk-in shower. That is nice. That is really nice. That is like the dream. I would love to have a shower like that with like a rain shower head. That is objectively very nice. Okay. I like this. I like these windows actually. That's nice. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. This is something. What the hell is this actually? Is this like a therapy office in your house? What is this space? Why is there this? Is this supposed to be like an office in the house so you don't have to like go anywhere outside of, like, you don't have to go to the kitchen or something? You can just like have your snacks and whatever in this room. You don't have to interact with your family ever. You can just lock yourself in this room and live in it. Like, why is this in here? What is this room? Okay, here's your roof deck. Okay, here's the $92,000 a month. I don't even know what most of these things are in here. So they have a sauna, it appears. Okay. I think this is a cold plunge tub, is my assumption. You got a full weight rack. That's nice. That is nice. I have no idea what these things are. These things, not a clue. Is this like a full body massager thing here? But I'm like, for $92,000 a month, if this is a full body massager, I don't know what it is. I don't know what this is. But like, if it is supposed to be like a massage thing, I'm like, someone who can afford $92,000 a month is absolutely getting like a massage therapist coming into their house. What is this for? Also, what is this? Is this a spaceship? What is going on? What is that? I don't know what that is. That's freaking me out. If I were a conspiracy theorist, I'd be like, oh, the richest among us are from space. Like they're lizard people trying to get home to space. Are you kidding me? What is this? What is that? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't even know how to look that up. It's like capsule pod. I don't know what that is. It's freaking me out. Yeah, I'm freaked out. This room is eerie. Okay. Great. The aliens get to enjoy this lovely dining space. Good for them. And that's the back of the house. I think I have seen this house on some YouTube video, or it looks very similar, or all these homes look the same. I don't know. Here's the floor plan. It's so blurry, so I can't be bothered to look at that. And here we are. We're at 74 Washington. So you'd be right by Washington Square Park. Let's see. Can we see the house? We'll spot it from the window. I can't tell. I think it's this house. It's this entire house. It's for rent for $92,000 a month. You're right by Washington Square Park, so good on you. Way to go. It is a nice neighborhood. So, fuck you guys who can live here. You weird alien pod people who can afford this. Man, cool. I don't have any other thoughts other than being sad. This is not even outrageous for New York City. There are absolutely so many people who can afford this. This is insulting that they didn't build in the pot filler. The pod is freaky. What is this? I'll never know. I don't think I want to know. I'm too poor to know what it is. And I don't know, eat the rich or something. Eat the rich, steal their homes, squatters' rights. I don't know. I am going to call it there for today. Oh, I've disheveled my hair. You know, sometimes you think you're doing okay for yourself. Sometimes you feel like, I'm comfortable. I can feed myself. I have a roof over my head. All these things I'm very grateful for. I feel as though I have a fairly comfortable life and have my own privileges in this world that I'm thankful for. And then I see how insanely wealthy some people are, and they're not even that rich. In terms of how rich people can be, they're not even that rich. Like $15,000 a month on rent in this luxury apartment building in FiDi. You just need to make like $600,000 a year. And I'm not saying but like there's a lot of people in New York who make that kind of money. So in my head, I'm like, who are these houses for? And then I do the math. I'm like, oh no, people can absolutely afford that. I can't, but there are people, just to be clear. And then $92,000 a month, which would be about $1.1 million a year on rent for a house, which seems absurd. And yet, when I do the math, I'm like, oh, you would need to make about $4 million a year comfortably to afford that. And there are absolutely people in New York City who have that money, who make that money. And like $92,000 a month on rent for some of those people, like some of these people make tens of millions of dollars, right? Like they're making like 8-figure salaries annually or more. So $92,000 is a drop in the bucket for them. And they should be insulted that there's no pot filler over that stove. How are you going to do that? How are you going to create a kitchen like that? Anyway, this was fun. There are so many houses I could keep looking at in New York and then be very sad about how there are people that make a lot of money who can absolutely afford these places, and I am not one of them, but good on you. I think I hate you. Must be nice. I'm convinced some of you are aliens trying to return home to your planet based on that pod in that one basement. I don't know what that is. And yeah, that's all I've got for today. I think I might do this again one of these days because I had fun. I hope you did too. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more stuff like this, because I probably will. I only looked at like, 3 listings today and got carried away. So there's plenty to look at if you want to go on this adventure with me a little bit more. Go ahead and follow it and follow it. Follow me, I think. I'm your cult leader. No, I'm not. I don't want to take on that responsibility. Following is weird. That's a tangent. My brain's going there. I don't know what else to say. I have to call this soon. I have to go to work. I have to go work a job. So I have to go work a job for a living. I do not make $4 million a year though, but I do have to go work my job soon. So yeah, that's all I got. Stay curious, stay belligerent, and tax the rich. Tax them. Tax them. Okay. Goodbye. And freezer, microwave, sorry. That's almost how I say that word, as a joke. Okay.